Hi there. My name is Ethar Hamid, and I'm doing this video for my MFA Lindenways class, my orientation course for the MFA program with Lindenwood University here, and I'm just answering the questions that are asked here as part of the course. So here we go. The first question is asking to state your name and give us a glimpse of the background of your stories, essays, and poems. So to give a glimpse of some of my themes and the background of what I usually work with in my writings, my creative writings. I mean, I usually like to write about personal experiences of mine, and I find that the personal experiences often translate into wider societal and cultural discussions. And so if I were to write about like family issues, like issues that I had within my family, whether it was interpersonal problems, communication problems, or mental health problems in my family, unfortunately, conditions that are in my family, mental health conditions and stuff, or anything related to family life and home life. I feel that when I write personally, about these personal issues, I feel that a lot of people can relate, and a lot of people can see the wider significance. They might know the wider relevance of it, sort of the cultural or societal or even political relevance of these quote unquote personal narratives that I write about. That's one thing. I guess I like to write about to a great extent personal problems that I'm facing in my life, or that I have faced in the past, and sort of what I learned from them, and how I grew as a person, or how I feel I'm growing intellectually and spiritually as a person. So that's one thing I guess I like to write about. And another thing I also like to write about, another thing is I like to write about spirituality and spiritual practices like praying, and maybe just even walking in nature, or reading certain types of spiritual books, or just meditating for some time. I feel all of these things bring me joy and happiness, and I like to write about it in my poetry and stuff like that, in my writings. So I guess two things I mainly write about are personal experiences and spiritual experiences and spiritual feelings and stuff. And then the second question is asking here, where does your work spring from? Is it rooted in where you are from, or from your nomadic life, or books you love, or it could be important people, places, and paths that have shaped your life? So, I feel this is kind of similar to the first question. I think all of these three questions are kind of similar, but my work mainly springs from like I mentioned before, personal problems and spiritual experiences. But in addition to that, I also write about I like to write about certain like observe things that I've observed, like certain observances sort of that I've noticed in life or about life in general. So I notice stuff like sort of suffering and like sort of painful experiences that people go through in life, and I like to sort of synthesize that or translate that into writing just to sort of get my thoughts out and get my feelings and thoughts and observations out on paper. And I think these like observations and these things that I've noticed about life and about living, I feel that these like one day might become like very interesting to like read back on it. You know, it might be like a really good like sort of like memory box, or like a really good like journal, or even essay collection or poetry collection. Even if it's just kept to myself, like, or if I self-publish it one day, it could be like a really good like thing, like, oh, like, that's what I thought, like a good like recollection of like how I felt at the time. So it could be like good like good memories sort of like how I was, like how I saw life at that point while I was writing, and what I sort of noticed, what I observed. So I like to write about like what I notice about life. I like to sort of jot down and write about what I think about suffering, and what I think about pain and happiness and joy and all of these different experiences that we as humans have. So I guess it's tied to like the human experience and the human condition. I like writing and reading about like the human experience, and like whatever that might look like for the author. It's always really fascinating to sort of read about the problems that people have and how they cope with it, and what they learn from life and from suffering and all of that, all of those experiences. And so the next question here, final one, is saying, in summary, what are some of your roots that are the roots of your creative work? So what are the roots of your creative work? So again, I guess it would be personal problems and spiritual feelings and spiritual experiences, and observations, I mean, about life and about certain important elements of life, like pain and suffering, and overcoming pain and suffering and adversity, and having faith and hope through all of life's challenges, and spirituality, and just keeping a positive spirit no matter what you might be going through. Because everything does have an end to it, a good ending, hopefully. This too shall pass, and everyone deserves happiness and joy. So yeah, thank you, bye. And so that's it. That's my roots of my writing and literature and creative writing and stuff, and that's everything. And thank you. Bye. Have a good day. Bye.